Welcome to PLD Disc Golf and the post-production coverage of the 9th Annual Plastic Addicts Illinois Amateur Championship sponsored by Dynamic Discs. My name is Payton Drake, and this coverage is a volunteer production by members inside and outside the disc golf community. After the morning's round 1 at Northwood, we came out to Kennel Lake Sportsman's Club for an afternoon round 2. Another quick shout out to all the volunteers who helped run this event, and kudos to my camera guy, Phil Dittmeyer. We have a brand new MA1 feature card: Jonathan Borzik, Adam Osborne, Jimmy Carter, and Nick Robertson, who all shot good rounds at Northwood. Kennel Lake is a private members club a couple miles away from Northwood, and there is a good mix of open and wooded holes, but imminent water on the final 4 holes and 30-mile-an-hour winds will damage some players' scores. Let's get over to tee number 1.
My name is John Borzik, PJ number 119794. I'm from Wheaton, Illinois, and I'd like to thank Circle One Disc Golf for supporting me at these tournaments.
I'm Adam Osborne. My PDGA number is 43203. I'm from Franklin, Ohio, and I'd like to thank Prodigy Disc and Bang & Chain Disc Golf.
I'm Jimmy Carter, and my PDGA number is 116083, and I'm here, and I appreciate everyone that plays casual rounds.
Nick Robertson, PDGA number 127048, and sponsored by Disdot, and I'm from Traverse City, Michigan.
Alright, so we saw some decent tee shots here on hole 1. Like I said, 30-mile-an-hour winds coming from the southwest. It was doing some pretty serious dropping of the discs here on the putting green, as we see from Jonathan. Puts that up, and it just doesn't carry. Same with Adams. He put that chain high, though, so that was a good run at the basket. But yeah, we'll see how the wind affects the course. We'll be jumping in and out of the woods and from all different directions. The headwind switch to tailwind will definitely be throwing some of our players off. As Jimmy lays that one up. Nick here on the edge of circle. Gonna give this one a good bid. Really high bid. Putt. And I will disclaimer here, all the scores at the bottom of the screen, I will mention they are the running scores for this second round only. I'll capture the event scores at the end of the back 9 here in round 2. So stay tuned for that. A good finish from Adam there. Looks like we'll have all these guys tapping out for their pars.
I was just picturing it lifting and going Mexico.
With this wind, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Jimmy talking about how with this wind it's unexpected or impossible to plan for what it's going to do to your disc. So here we are, hole 2, 271-foot par 3. Another tailwind throw here down a hill. We'll see how these players attack it. Oh, Jonathan putting that disc up high. Probably not hanging it out left enough for that forehand. He finds himself in the rough on the right-hand side. And this is new. Adam here is a very strong lefty forehand thrower, as he throws a forehand that just skips right up to the basket. We are playing some CTPs here at this round, and I think he'll find himself with the CTP there. Another righty forehand from Jimmy. Plants that one a little bit long. He'll have a headwind putt coming back up to the basket. A little low from Nick. Trying to just cut through the wind right there. But it's not a bad result. He should have a pitch up to the basket with a tailwind. Good layup from Jonathan. A little stepper action from Nick, just shy of the basket. Oh. Jimmy leaving that one a little short. He's probably expecting a little bit of lift from a kind of reduced headwind. There's been a little bit of lull in the wind here on the green of hole 2. So as these guys clean up here, we'll move on to hole number 3, which is an example of some of the wooded holes we'll get into. Come on, Adam, taking your sweet time. And I will mention, for anybody who's playing any sanctioned events with CTPs, don't worry about the CTP until you've played out the hole. For pace of play, don't be the guy that goes and throws a CTP flag when there's still more to be played on that hole. All right, 256-foot par 3 is hole 3. This one is a very low ceiling shot with a left to right bend. Jonathan here showing us what the true line is. Basket's a little bit further right down the gap. Adam left his left, but he should be able to have a straight approach at the basket from where he's at. A little high out of Jimmy. Yeah, I think this shot really favors those who are proficient at the righty forehand. Just push something out flat and straight and a low line that gets a flare skip off to the right is what you need. As Nick hangs this out to the right, gets a fortunate kick. If you get stuck in that rough on the right-hand side, it's almost an instant bogey, even on this really short hole. It's very challenging to scramble with that. Adam trying to do a straddle lefty forehand. Oh, roller. It needs to flip over. I think that pushes to the rough on the left-hand side of the basket, but you should have a look from there. Nice, easy up shot from Nick there. I think he's going to be able to get his par from there. Jimmy with a look. I don't think he's able to get quite enough wrist pop on that and get it to the basket. He'll find himself an easy par. So the rough on this course is not quite as aggressive as Northwood, but it's still kind of the same flora, same species. A floaty bit from Adam's chain high, but just left. So if you are off the fairway, you can find yourself in jail at times, but you might have some gaps that Northwood would not offer. And that's a great birdie putt from Jonathan.
More pin high, so.
And a bogey for Adam. All right, we're moving on to hole 4, a 475-foot par 4. Very open before and after this wall of trees, if you will. Jonathan's playing straight at the gap, gets a favorable tree kick, and he's in the perfect spot just on the other side of a bridge that marks the halfway point of the fairway. So he'll have a short up shot up a hill to the basket. Jimmy trying to follow suit, and he goes left of the gap. He fights through a little bit. He'll find himself on the far side of the creek, but he might have to just pitch out from there. Ooh, Nick hung this out really far right. He was trying to do a safe layup, and it ended up not working out for him. Ooh, Adam pumping a forehand through with some really overstable catches, the same tree that Jonathan got some tree left from. So, you know, one tree may like one player and not like another, so. Yeah, unfortunate. I found myself doing this round too, just missing my layup and having to pitch up to a good spot in the gap. So, seeing Nick pumping a straight shot into a headwind, up the hill, beyond the basket. That took some considerable power. Yeah, that deserves some knuckles. Ouch, another straddle forehand. I didn't see where that one went, but I think he's right and short. Yeah, Jimmy's here in the wall of brush behind the wall of trees you have to clear. Looks like he's got a gap. He's going to try to do some straddle backhand to find the gap. He just plants that into the ground, but out of the rough, so he'll have an upshot from there. From the perfect landing zone, let's see what Jonathan has. Beautiful, perfect distance. Should have a good putt for a birdie. So once again, these guys are throwing into a headwind up a hill, which can pose some big concerns. There is an OB. Ooh, that's the way I have Jimmy pitching up. There is an OB gravel path beyond this basket, and the lake is just beyond. So if the wind picks up your disc and you weren't expecting it, it can easily just toss it in the water, and you're missing one of your key discs for the rest of the course. So you got to be attentive to that wind and really make sure that you've taken it into account. Because we do see a birdie from Jonathan. I think he'll be the only one on this hole. So talking through the hole averages on the day, almost everything was playing very close to par, as this hole was actually right at par, an average of 4.0. We're shifting over to hole 5, 349-foot par 3. This one was very similar. It was a 2.99 average. We'll see how these guys attack it. Jonathan piping something down there, not getting enough ground skip. He's going to be short and right, but he'll have a look. And another similar looking flight from Jimmy. He was able to get a little ground play, but that's still short of the basket. Oh, beautiful shot from Nick, but that actually gets some ground play that maybe wasn't desired. He's going to be in the rough on the left of the basket, but maybe have a look at the basket from there. Adam putting that really high. That's going to catch a branch somewhere. I actually got through pretty well. He's going to be up there right next to Jonathan, I think. I apologize, Jimmy. Good layup from Jimmy. With this tailwind, it's going to drop a lot of these approaches that are short. So Adam's going to put this really high. And he does, just hangs it out right. I think that had good height crossing chains, but that kind of spin, it's hard to put a long putt on line. We see a push putt here from Jonathan. Yeah, it's just hard to get that pop and get it to the basket with that strong tailwind. Right. Nick here, trying to find a good stance. That's rough. Being that close to the basket and just having to pitch out for a par. That's all right. Not gaining nor losing strokes on this hole with a par. Adam, put it in the chains, friend. There we go. Wind will be in everyone's minds all round this afternoon. You're just going to have to weather the conditions and keep moving forward. As we move on to hole 6, a 387-foot par 3. This one kind of merges the open and the wooded style. You pump it through an open field and then pass through the trees that Jonathan just navigated into a funnel to the basket. Getting a little skip on the upslope just shy of the basket. That's a good throw, and he'll have a look for a birdie there. Yeah, this left to right wind was doing some weird things with the disc. If you exposed the top of the disc, it wasn't letting it flip over very much, but if you got it flat or turned over, your disc was gone and way to the right. See how Nick throws it here? Oh, one of those, that was just shy of perfect. One of those perfect stabilities, flipping up from hyzer, getting flat. The wind just pushed it over to the right, but he should be able to get up and down for a par from there. Adam kind of hammers over on an overstable disc. That is an excellent shot. He's going to be in circle 2. It's really hard to get a disc up at the basket. It's uphill from the tee, and being at 387 and needing to be dead straight, it's hard to fit that shot shape. Oh, slide up there, he says. And he gets a little bit of a slide. That'll be just outside of circle 1, I think, for his par. Adam heading up a little left, does a nice pitch up. Oh, Nick's even deeper in the rough than I thought. He'll have to scramble pretty well to get to the basket. There are very, very few gaps from here to get close. I mean, playing some ping pong, plinko to get through. And I missed the putts on that that hole, but I think everyone parred out there. And we are at hole 7, 505-foot par 4. Very open for the first shot. You're trying to plant yourself just shy of a really tight gap. You're entering the trees on the far side of this clearing for about a 150-foot tunnel shot to the basket. Oh, Jimmy gets really, really left. That's 2 left of the basket. He's going to have to do some hard work to get to the basket for par, I think. Nick lining up the forehand. This will fight the wind the best. It's a right to left coming back the other way from hole 6. So, yeah, using that wind to just kind of hammer down on the top of the disc as it fades out definitely helps. Oh, Adam. Oh, wow. Perfect tree direction to a roller. Might actually put him just shy of the gap where he needs to be. He hung that out too far right. He does have a look here. Gets aggressive. Oh, he gets one down there.
Let's go.
I think we'll see that will be in a good position, either just shy of the casual creek that's just in front of the basket or just beyond. Jimmy. Oh no. That's the rough you have to avoid if you want to be getting a par. He's going to have to scramble even more. Great upshot from Jonathan. He'll be in a similar spot as I think Adam is. And as we move up this fairway, I want to jump back to hole 6. It was only birdied by 2 people, and I want to give a shout out to James Taylor and Peter Madrowski. If I said your name right, comment, let me know. But good birdies there. That's a really tough hole to bird. Yeah.
I gotta throw it eventually, right?
Yeah. Jimmy is saying, I gotta throw it eventually. You just gotta pick something and try to get out. And he doesn't get the progress that he wants, but he's finally in the gap, and he can give this one a healthy bid. He's outside of circle 2, but he has a backboard that is the hill on the backside of the basket, so strong bid. And he does. That was a good line. Just needed a little bit more juice to put it in the chains. Okay, we've got Adam just shy of the creek here, which, as I said, is casual. No penalty for landing in it. Great putt. Great bird. Given that this hole is a kind of a 500-foot par 4, it's very scoreable, but we had people on both sides of it who could execute properly given the wind and get birdies just like Jonathan here. And some people are having to take bogeys and double bogeys.
Don't miss me
There's
making
a
this
good
one.
bird from Nick and Jimmy tapping out his bogey.
Highlight reels.
Highlight reels.
I love this video.
Yep, you're on the highlight reel, Jimmy. So yeah, that hole, playing it how it did in the field, 3 birds and 1 bogey. Move on to hole 8, just a 210-foot par 3, but you're pitching through this really tight gap off the tee. Honestly, I think Adam has the advantage here, having a little lefty forehand that flexes to the left after having Annie out of the hand.
Yes.
That'll get you close to the basket. And honestly, that's a good way to play it, just really strong and into the hillside just outside the gap. It's really short, but Adam trying to follow suit what Nick did. But yeah, this is actually kind of playing ahead left to right, and it just lifts those nose up shots and pushes it out to the right. It's tough to park this one today.
I'm out. Stay. That's fine.
Yeah, that's the number one goal, is just to get out. This hole is one of the easiest bogeys to take, to be honest. A good layup in the headwind from Jonathan. Yeah, let's see stat-wise. What do we got going on here? This one being, I think it's the shortest hole on the course. It is. Shortest hole on the course is playing 3.38. There's several birdies to be had, but plenty of double bogeys and more. Oh, what a putt.
That was beyond the way out.
Yeah, these guys out here on the lead card, sometimes they're just going to have some fun, just try to put something up in the air and hope it sticks. And this wind, I mean, if or edge of circle, what would be super high confidence when there's no wind just becomes hang it up and pray. And there's one of the many birdies on this hole from Nick. Honestly, that was the way to play it. Just super strong, right through the gap, smash it into the hillside, and try to get some sort of right to left skip up to the basket. But the rest of these guys here cleaning up a par, which, like I said, 0.38 strokes over par. They're doing a good job against the field. Here we are, hole 9, the third hardest hole on the course today. That gap that we had on hole 8 is pretty much what the final half of this fairway is. And with a strong tailwind, it's hard to select the right disc that'll just let you go straight. And Nick hangs a stable disc on a little bit of Annie, and it ends up on the right side of the fairway, but it stays close to the fairway, so he should be able to pitch up for his par. And Jonathan, just hanging on the right side of the fairway, gets a rough kick to the left. This hole is very reminiscent of Northwood. If you're off the fairway at all and in the brush, you are scrambling for dear life as Adam really pumps that down. He's pretty close to the basket. He'll probably have an easy pitch up for his par. Uh-oh, yeah. That is early and left from Jimmy. That is instant bogey town. Yep. All right, let's hope he can pipe this fairway here. 230-foot shot, I suppose.
Nice shot.
And he does. He gets it up there in circle. That's good. And this hole, averaging a 3.72, 3/4 of a stroke over par. Taking a bogey on this is not hurting you too much. But taking a par definitely is strong for your game. As we see a forehand roller to get right in the middle of the fairway. All right. Jonathan just pitching up for his bogey too. Oh, Nick, not going to say getting lazy on the upshot, but maybe just didn't give that everything he needed to park it. But should be a par from there. Same from Adam here. Yes. All right, and as we finish up here on the green, there were only 2 birdies on this hole in the day, and it came from Dick England and Max Squibb. As Jimmy taps out his bogey there. Congrats, you two, on your birdies on one of the hardest holes on the course. A bogey for Jonathan. All right, and as we finish up this last hole of the front 9, I want to thank all of you guys for coming to the channel, checking out the coverage. As I said before, we will have the back 9 here coming very soon, and then a final 27-hole round 3 to finish up. All right, so for the round 2 front 9, we got Jonathan at -2, Adam at -1, Jimmy Carter at +2, and Nick at -2. And for the event scores, this is where they stand. Being under par today is excellent. So we'll see what happens when we get into round 2. But thank you all for coming, and I'll see you in the next one.